The gate's padlocked, and look, dead weeds standing outside it, not even bent. Nobody's driven in here for a while. The house had a quiet, deserted look. There was a letterbox in front hanging, open, empty. I wonder if we could get in, Jenner said. Why should we? It's a big place. It would have a big pantry, big cupboard, big freezer. If it's as empty as it looks. We turned into the grounds, moving cautiously, and from beneath some bushes we watched the windows. As dusk fell, lights came on in several of them, both upstairs and down. Jenner said, That's supposed to make us think there's someone there. Yes, said Justin, but there isn't. I could see one of the lamps when it came on. There was nobody near it, and they all came on at the same time. Automatic switches to keep burglars away. Well, they're not keeping me away, said Justin. He ran to the house, climbed on one of the windowsills, and looked in. He tried another, then came back. Nobody, he said. So we went in. We found a small window in the back with a cracked pane, knocked out one corner of the glass, and climbed through. At first, we planned to look for food. We found it, too, enough to last us for a year or more. As Jennifer had predicted, there was a big freezer and well-stocked, bread, meat, vegetables, everything, and a whole room of shelves covered with tinned food. The tins baffled us at first, as they had in the grocery stores. We could read what was in them, but we couldn't get it out. Then Arthur found a machine in the kitchen counter. He read the instructions on the side of it. Slide tin under cutter and press switch. We tried it. The tin turned slowly around in the machine, and when we pulled it out, the top had been cut free. I'll always remember what was in that first tin. Vegetable soup. Delicious. After we had eaten, we wandered around the house. It was a rich man's mansion, with beautiful furniture and fine rugs and carpeting on the floor. There was a crystal chandelier in the dining room and a big stone fireplace in the living room. But the greatest treasure of all, for us, was in the study. This was a large rectangular room with walnut paneling, a walnut desk, leather chairs, and walls lined to the ceiling with books. Thousands of books, about every subject you could think of. There were shelves of paperbacks. There were encyclopedias, histories, novels, philosophies, and textbooks of physics, chemistry, electrical engineering, and others more than I can name. Luckily, there was even one of those small ladders on wheels that they used in some libraries to get to the top shelves. Well, we fell on those books with even more appetite than on the food, and in the end, we moved into the house and stayed all winter. We could do that, it turned out, without much fear of discovery. We learned that from some newspaper cuttings I found on the desk in the study. They were about a wedding, and most of them showed pictures of a newly married couple leaving a house to begin their honeymoon. The groom was Mr. Gordon Boniface, heir to the gold Stetson fortune, and the house they were leaving was the house we were all in. According to the clippings, they were going on a trip all the way around the world. They were coming back to the Boniface estate in May. Until then, it was our estate. Oh, there was a caretaker gardener who came in 3 times a week, and once in a while he would check on the house in a cursory sort of way. That is, he would unlock the front door, glance around to see that everything looked all right, and then lock it and leave. But he didn't live there. He lived in a small house down the road. And we were expecting him when he came. We had figured it out from the way the place was kept up, the lawns mowed, the leaves raked, the gardens weeded and watered, that there had been somebody working on it. So we posted a watch, saw him coming, and kept watching him all the time he was there. We made for sure, when he looked in the house, that everything did look all right. This involved a certain amount of work. We had to haul our empty tin cans and other rubbish at night out into a hidden place in the woods quite far from the house. We cleaned up after ourselves carefully. We learned how to use the water taps and the dusting cloths we found in the kitchen cupboard. If the caretaker had looked more closely, in fact, he would see that the kitchen counters were somewhat shinier than they should have been in an empty house. But he didn't. He never even noticed the small corner of the glass missing out of the back window. And all winter, far into the night, we read books and practiced writing.